Now try to solve these questions which appeared recently in the GATE examination. In total there are 3 questions, and also keep checking the time limit. Now let's see the solutions. For the first question, the answer is D option, which is G1 plus G2 divided by 1 plus G1 multiplied by H. If you have done enough practice of questions, then you might already know that signal flow graph is easier to solve than block diagrams, as there are not much rules about which you have to be careful. So I have converted this block diagram into signal flow graph, but obviously you can solve this diagram by using different rules which we have studied in the block diagrams. Afterwards, you have to simply apply the Mason's-Gains formula and can find the transfer function. Now let's see the answer of the second question. The answer is the first option. It is also a very easy question. You can simply solve by first ignoring the input signal Rs and then solving the circuit for finding the signal G2S. Similarly, you have to follow the same by ignoring the input signal Ds and then solve the remaining circuit. It is an easy question which is based on the principle of multiple input and multiple output, which we have already covered in the lectures. Now come to the third question. This is also a very easy question, but still 2 marks were given for this question. The reason is very simple. Whenever students revise the topics, they usually ignore the easier topics and focus directly on the more complex topics like Nyquist plot, root locus, etc. But they usually ignore the simple topics, particularly the first unit, and becomes confused in the exams even when the question is actually very easy. This question depends upon your understanding of the basics of conversion of block diagrams into signal flow graph. There only we have seen that if there is a takeoff point which is before a summing point, then we cannot merge these 2 points into a single node. However, if the condition was reversed such that the summing point was before the takeoff point, then our answer would be the A option. So that's how questions are framed which can check your knowledge regarding only a single point. If you remember that point, then you can solve. Otherwise, it will take more time for you to solve, because the only other option to solve this is to find the transfer function of the block diagram and then check the transfer function of all the other options, which is obviously a time-taking procedure. So try to remember the rules, as I hope you have got to know the importance of these rules by now.